Hello, and welcome to Marathon Swim Stories, where we explore the human side of the superhuman feats of endurance swimmers and those who support them. I'm marathon swimmer and coach Shannon Keegan. With a dream to complete the iconic Bosphorus cross-continental swim, Natalia Tchouitch jumped into open water swimming in 2014, and she can't get enough. With the English Channel on the books a few years later, she set up a huge year of swims in 2019 to prepare herself. Hear all about it and more in Natalia's marathon swim story. Enjoy. All right. Good morning to me. Good evening to you, Natalia. Thank you so much for being my guest today. Tell me, what's your story?
Well, it's difficult to say what my story is. So if I have a swimming background, so I used to be a pool swimmer when I was a kid, but not a very successful pool swimmer. Though it took about probably 4 or 5 years to understand it. So I was doing swimming trainings twice a day, every day, like for 4 or 5 years. So it led to nothing. I stopped doing it for many years. And then probably something like what it was. My first open water swim was in 2014.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, 7 years ago? So I just wanted to try something. And my first distance was a mile in Miami.
In Miami?
So, yeah, I selected something warm and interesting. And it went okay. I was somewhere in the middle. And from here, I just wanted to add up mileage to my swims because my dream was to swim Bosphorus, the cross-continental swim from Europe to Asia. This is also nice and warm and current assisted. So I tried that in 2015. And then I developed, I do not know, a dream or an obsession to win a medal. Each medal at Bosphorus, and I won gold since my third attempt in 2017, and so I did another one in 2018, and that was very bad. Yeah, but very bad. So it was something like 25th or so, but you never know with open water. And then I decided to do other swims, not only Bosphorus, and probably the turning point in my swimming career, so to say, was Morocco swim track. It's like a mini scar, so probably for American audience, also for days and for distances, but the mileage is shorter. It's 8.5, 6.5, 8.5, 10, and 5K. And by that time, so I only did 5K. And so all the three distances were kind of a challenge to me, but I liked the idea of swimming in a desert, in the ocean. So it was December 2017. I did it in a wetsuit. But during the swim, I met many people, and I also liked the format. Not so many people. You can, have a chance to talk to people, to make friends. I made a lot of friends, and from here I started thinking of less mass swims, and so probably solo swims because I don't like swimming in a crowd. So I really liked, the idea that you can swim with people, and then proceed from here. And actually I wanted at that time to swim the Straits of Gibraltar. I applied, I wasn't accepted. Now, so my application is still there. So I wasn't accepted to swim in a team. So my application is still there with Natalia because the swim is canceled, for 2 hours in a row. And then when I realized that it wasn't accepted, I thought, okay, so I probably should book something else. And in January of 2018, I booked the English Channel. And I swam it in 2019 in September. So I started preparing for my English Channel swim. And in 2019, I did a lot of swims as a preparation, and that was a great year.
Yeah, take us back real quick. So you swam a little bit, you said, as a kid, 2 times a day, didn't go anywhere. Totally, I'm familiar with that. That's kind of how it went for me too. But then what brought you back in 2014? What made you go through this mile in open water in Miami? What
So again, so I wanted to swim Bosphorus, but the main challenge with the Bosphorus swim is getting in.
Okay.
Because they've got quotes for different nations, and Russian quotes disappear in something like 15 minutes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I didn't get a quote, and I thought, okay, I'll probably try something that
Mm.
won't be too difficult, too cold. And then I found somewhere this swim Miami, and I registered, and I thought, okay, this is a nice excuse, for a
Okay.
nice trip. So I went to the States, and yeah, that's how I chose Miami.
Okay, where did you get the idea to do the swim? Like, I mean, before you even decided to do the swim Miami, where did you get the idea to do, what's it called? Swim Bosphorus? What did you call it?
Bosphorus is something like an iconic swim. Well, at least here or in Europe, this is it's called cross-continental swim. Actually, so it took place yesterday,
Oh, okay.
so on Sunday, yeah. And you swim from Asia to Europe, and
Hmm.
it's this is kind of everybody wants at least here everybody wants
Everyone
to
wants it.
try it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But,
Why did you think that you wanted to do that?
I don't know. So I always wanted to swim across some water body. So I
Okay.
had an experience, but very little one again when I was a kid. And once we were in kind of a sports camp. It's a
Okay.
camp of kids, like, I don't know, maybe like a scout camp. But actually, this is for kids doing different kinds of sports. And we
Hmm.
were like swimmers of all ages. I mean, of all school ages. So I was among the youngest kids because it was like I was about 10, but we had swimmers who were 16 or 17, and we swam all together. And this camp was located on the bank of a lake.
Hmm.
And we swam across the lake, but it was probably something like 300 meters or maybe a
Hmm.
bit longer. Not a very big one, but
Right.
still it was
Gave
fun.
you an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked the idea that you can swim across, I don't know, the river or the lake or something like that.
Right. It makes the swimming in a pool experience, like it puts it to work. That's how I think of it. It's like I
Yeah,
could use this for something. I could get somewhere.
oh, yeah. But also, this is post rationalization. I didn't think about it when I started open water, but now thinking why I like it. Even if this is a mass start, you don't know how your competitors are doing, and you're swimming with like yourself by yourself, so you don't have this direct comparison side by side like in the pool. So when you
Right.
see immediately whether you're good or bad, and normally I was among the last ones, so I was doing pretty good during the training sessions, but I was too nervous to compete. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that trouble too with the nerves and stuff. What you feel going into open water swims, but it's different, I think. It's not that direct competition. That's something.
Yes. And then sometimes you get a nice surprise because I was really surprised that I was doing quite well in my age group.
Mm.
So even in Russia, so I won. So prior to winning Bosphorus, so this my obsession. I had a very funny swim across the Volga River. It had a very strong current, so 3K, and I won this 3K. And then I also tried Ocean Man in Greece, which was 5K, my first 5K, and I was so it was kind of international. I was second in my age group,
Oh,
and I
wow.
really liked it. And I thought, okay, so probably I should do this. This is kind of, I don't know, late validation. So I was not getting anything when I was a kid. So I
Right.
won the first place only once during this 4 or 5 years, and it's quite a very funny story. So it has nothing to do with marathon swimming, but it was funny how we won it. But yeah,
Tell us
so
this funny story.
uh, well, actually, I said that I was nervous when I was, competing. So with, stronger competitors, because I think the philosophy of sports coaches is that you put, an athlete next to a stronger athlete, and then the athlete is trying to follow it. It never worked with me. So I was always losing, and I was thinking that this guy is stronger than me. This is natural that they win. So that was my thinking, and I was losing, and I was scared. And at that time, prior to the swim, I somehow stumbled at school over, I don't know why or whatever. And then I fell on my face. So I had,
No.
when there was a time for the competition, I had a bruise under each eye. So I had two black eyes. I looked terrible. And when they looked at me, so the organizers, they said, okay, so let's move her away. And I was swimming with the boys. I was swimming with every day. And for me, it was kind of natural to swim with the guys, not with my track competitors. And that's how I won the first place. Standing there with two black eyes, it was, but that was my only triumph, so to say. That was the regional championship.
It depends what you call a triumph. To me, I guess sometimes kind of in that head-on-head competition, I like to let people win because I want them to feel success. I don't know, like it's interesting what we consider success, right? I think helping other people is successful. So do I need to win something if I could help someone else achieve something? I don't know. I think it's an interesting.
Well, I like winning, but when I am next to stronger competitors, I know that was kind of, frustrating.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, this validation when I was a kid.
Yeah. So how did you get the idea to go to the Moroccan swim trek in 2017? That sounds like it was a pretty turning point.
I read about it somewhere, and I had a very beautiful picture in my mind, like swimming among the, sand dunes in the desert. And I thought that I probably will make a lot of nice pictures. I didn't know if I will be able to complete all the swims because by that time I had an experience of swimming only 5K, nothing else. But I thought, okay, I will try, and at least it would be a very nice trip and a lot of pictures. So, but I managed to complete all the swims, and I really was surprised that actually the motivation to complete was totally different for me, because so when I did the first one, I was really surprised at how warm people are, so how they support each other, how they congratulate those who finished, and I wanted to feel it again.
Yeah.
And I thought that, so I will try to complete that.
Yeah, it's a really great environment. I think the couple times I've been to like the multi-day swims, like it's a really neat to be in that. I think that's when people can really test themselves. It's like as a coach, I really want to put on a camp where you can hold like a multi-day swim, because I really feel like that's where I know I've done the most of my growth is showing up at a swim where you're exhausted from the day before and you think you swam further than you ever did, and someone gives you a few words of encouragement, and then you go out there and you find out, well, hey, I guess I can swim even more than I thought that I could. I'm even tired from yesterday and look what I'm doing. So that can be a really big, I think, turning point for people. So that's a great confidence booster.
Yes, exactly. And also what I found out actually that if I do nothing but swim, it's okay. So because when you go away from work or just other duties, you concentrate on swimming, and it's okay to swim like 10K and then do something else on the next day. So that's why I like swim camps, because you concentrate on swimming and you can do a lot. Otherwise, when you work, it's difficult, to do proper training.
Time, exactly.
Yes, to make time for that in your normal life.
Right. Yeah. We have to pull ourselves out of that, put yourself on a boat or next to an ocean, and then you just get to swim every day.
Because otherwise, at the end of one day, you feel like sorry for yourself,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're just tired. It's hard to get the motivation up, but when you're kind of can surround yourself with other people and everybody's going out to go swim every day, it's a great way to spend a vacation, if you ask me.
Yes, and add mileage also if you're preparing for a swim.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a little bit about how, so you said you booked January 2018 you booked the English Channel for 2019?
Yes.
And then tell us about preparing for the English Channel. So what was your longest distance before that, and then going into?
Yeah, that was 10K, which I did in December. Going
into you booked the English Channel having done a 10K, is that right?
Yes, so I've just done 10K once, and then I booked the English Channel. So I had no experience with cold water, And actually, a year before, so when I tried to swim my first 5K in Benidorm, I really liked the story. Also, the water there was plus 22 degrees Celsius, and I had no wets, and I expected it to be 26. I thought it's a nice warm swim, I can do it, and then it happened to be 22, and I decided not to swim because I was so scared that this is for me at that time it was a nice cold water. And then I came there, so I got on the ship, and then I said no, I will go back, and I didn't swim at all. And then I saw
22 is 71 for people in the Fahrenheit world.
So it was like a nice cold swim, and I was suffering the whole night whether I should try or not. So I never tried 5K, and I had no experience of swimming in 22 degrees. So I thought I will not be able to make it, and I decided not to do it. And then it's nice to see, the progress from here.
Yeah, tell us. So you booked the English channel, and how did you get the confidence to do cold water after?
I just booked it, and then I was invited to participate in a relay. And that's it was in February, and they said that by May I should have the cold water qualifier for 2 hours in the water below 16 degrees, and then somehow. So that was probably my first stage. I started to get acquainted with the cold water, just little by little, because I had no experience at all. So in Morocco, I swam in a wetsuit, and the water was 19. So again, so I started with, rubbing my hands with a towel wet in cold water, and then just try to take a bath using the cold water only, and swimming little by little. And then I just went to England because I had no idea how qualifiers are done. I thought it's an organized event. And when they said that actually they will swim for the qualifier, I said, okay, I probably should go there and, attempt to swim. And I swam my first 2-hour qualifier in England somehow. I don't know how. It was very cold. I swam in a lake. And they said, be careful, you swim here, you can swim anywhere, just swim for 2 hours. Beware of the swan. Somewhere in the bushes, the swan is quite aggressive. He attacks the swimmers.
Oh, the swan, okay.
It was, early morning, it was dark, so the water was, I think it was between 14 and 15.
Okay.
And I was swimming for 2 hours thinking of the swan, and
just kept you moving.
And just so tried to move because I didn't want to quit because even 15 minutes after that, so I felt cold, but it was like how they call it, escalation of commitment. I would be sorry to waste this 15 minutes and then to redo this again. And then I tried and completed the 2-hour qualifier. And so, but then I thought that this is not enough, and somehow the captain of the team advised for those who have little experience to go to a camp with the king swimmers, Kevin Murphy and Cassie Batts. And I went to their camp in Scotland, and that was a very, very cold sea. And, I trained in this cold sea. It was scary. I was really shaking all the time, and for me it was a totally new sensation because I had no experience. But then finally, so I didn't do 6 hours because I didn't need to at that time. So I needed 2 hours, and I already had this qualifier. But then at the end, after this, cold swims in the cold, I don't know, it's North Sea, I believe, somewhere in the north of Scotland in Barnes. Then they also had a Loch Ness swim. It's part of the Loch Ness Lake, and we were really lucky with the weather. It was a very sunny day. The water was 14, 16, and it didn't feel cold.
Oh, wow. So that's 57, 50.
So after because the water in the sea was cold, and also there were waves, and so I did 2 hours and probably 3 hours in the sea. And though there were people who did 6 hours, and you know, at that time in the camp, there was Rose Hardiman. So she's quite well known in England as a para swimmer, and she did the 6 hours, and she already by that time had swum the English Channel. So I had someone to admire, and then Kevin Murphy himself and Cassie, and they were talking about channel swims and how they are organized and what you should be aware of. And I was very happy, you know, in the Loch Ness that I can swim. I don't have to come back because sometimes, so when we were training, there were like several swimmers and one support boat, and the swimmers who were faster, they had to come back. And sometimes they had to come back to the boat. It was kind of frustrating, but then so on the Loch Ness swim, it was about 11K, so a stretch, not the whole lake, but the stretch of the lake. So we had kayakers, so for each of the swimmer, and then we just swam. So I swam, and my kayak was next to me, and I was so happy, and it was quite a surprise for me that I really managed to adapt.
Yeah,
I said that, you know, you were not complaining, you didn't want to pull out. I said, yeah, why should I want to pull out if I feel okay? And then Kevin said, you know, do you realize that you felt okay in the water from 14 to 16 degrees? I said, oh, wow. But that was, you know, my cold water training before the relay. And then I was just adding up cold water hours and mileage during, you know, the rest of 2018. But I didn't do a lot of miles in 2018. I just did the Lake Geneva swim. It was 13K.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But then also I did the work at the beginning of 2019 prior to my channel swim.
Because just to be clear, was it a relay for the channel swim, or was it in a solo?
I did a relay in 2018, but the relay was not successful.
Okay.
So my first experience was not, you know, positive.
Yeah.
And so,
but you probably learned a lot.
Yes, but I learned a lot, and I think you know, if you look for something positive, this was it. So I met the right people, and understood how it works. I've been on a boat. I had an experience of starting the swim, and then you know, okay, it just happened. But
yeah. So tell us about your swim in 2019. Your solo.
Yeah. So in 2019, like I said, I did a lot of swimming prior to my channel swim, and I still believe that for me this is the best strategy. Just swim, get you know to the open water and swim. So I started with the swimming camp in Minorca with the king swimmers as well. So probably what I did, so the very good thing I did in 2018, at the end of 2018, I managed to do a 6-hour qualifier for the channel.
Yeah.
I went to another camp with Tracy Clark and Roger Finch. And because actually I was advised to try and do the qualifier a year prior to the swim. And then so I won't feel this pressure. And so I was surprised that I really managed to stay 6 hours in the Dover Harbor. So and I got my qualifier, so I didn't have to worry about that. And then I went to a swimming camp in Minorca, again with the king swimmers, to swim in the cold water. And after that, directly I went to the States to do SCAR. So I did my first SCAR in 2019. So I did all 4 lakes there. So after that, I did one stage of 8 bridges, stage 6. And then I also did a long swim in Russia, and it was a very good training for the channel because the swim happened to be very cold. It was like 15, 16, it wasn't typical of Russia. It was summer. It's kind of a shallow river, but for some reason it was, so 2019 was a very cold summer in Russia. And the water is cold, and in general it was very cold. And again, so it gave me a confidence boost. So I lasted 8 hours plus in this water. Okay. So what did I do after that? I did another swim in Russia, also kind of coldish, 10K Ocean Man in Moscow. After that, so I was in July, I was swimming practically every week. I was doing a
Wow.
marathon
Yeah.
swim. So I did the Lago d'Orta 27K in Italy. So beautiful lake,
Oh, wow.
kind of difficult because this is a lake. And then I was very, very lucky to get a slot for Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
20 bridges. Yeah, that was a piece of luck. So I was offered the slot because there was a cancellation. So I did
Oh.
that.
Also,
And then,
same year? All in.
yeah. And then I took the English Channel.
Wow. That was a good year.
Yeah, I said 2019 was a very good year for me.
Yeah. And that, like
And
you
so,
said, you were doing basically a marathon every week. So
yeah, that was
that's,
end of June and July. Yeah, so I had three
mhm.
swims. So this Russian 24K, then 10K, then 27K. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
every
Wow.
week.
Wow. I'm curious just because, well, we talked a little bit about the, like kind of needing to get away to get the swims in. Is that so? You do have a community at home that you swim with, or do you kind of depend on like going away to a swim or going away to a camp to get the swimming in?
Uh, I'm pretty independent on how I swim. I mean, so this open water swims. If I get a company, this is fine because
Yeah.
sometimes you meet people. For example, when I swim during the winter, so now I swim during the winter. There's a very nice community of people who swim during the winter, and they could be professional ice swimmers, but also people, for example, who live by the lake. And they do it for ages. They're not athletes. They just come, the weekend, do a dip in the lake, and they're also very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how. But for example, if I want to prepare for a long and challenging swim, it's kind of difficult in Moscow because there's not much water.
Okay.
So the lake where I swim in winter is kind of shallow and it gets warm or hot even too soon. And
Mm-hmm.
then I used to go to a lake, which is an hour and a half drive,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of very nice. It's so the water feels, I don't know, it's difficult to swim in this lake. It's also
Mm.
kind of wavy,
Okay.
and yeah, it's a good training lake. And then I
Yeah.
just go when I feel like it. I mean, during the weekend, just take my car and drive there. And again, if there's someone else, that's nice, but I'm fine to do it by myself because otherwise, if you go, you agree on timings and all that, it's much more difficult.
Yeah. 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 I can empathize with the not having any water around. We have a water shortage where I'm at
Yeah.
too. So a lot happened in 2019. What is the highlights? I mean, we haven't even talked about the English Channel, but you did so much amazing stuff. You did Scar, you did 8 bridges, you did 20 bridges. What's like the one that when you first think about 2019, what's a memory that like jumps in your mind?
Well, I would say so probably two highlights.
Yeah,
So
you do.
Manhattan, of course, which I was so lucky just to get the slot. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that I was waiting for the um, business call. So I was sitting in a meeting room with people because it was 2019. So we still
Pre-pandemic,
get
yeah.
together just before. We had a conf call with somebody, and while waiting for the call, I just checked my personal mail, and I saw a letter from Rondi Davis offering me a slot, and I said, "What? Me get a slot?" And and then so I replied to Rondi, and so I took the slot, and I was so happy to get it. And it was the year when 20 bridges were still done with groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I met some people I already knew, and it's again very nice. And I knew my kayak. Also, there was a Russian lady. She kayaked for me
Oh, wow.
during stage 6, and
Mm-hmm.
then met her. And it's nice. It's a very spectacular swim. You see New York from the water, and now
Mm-hmm.
I just look at the sides by the water, and I keep thinking that I used to swim here. And it's really very, very nice feeling. So it's nice. It wasn't too fast because we had kind of a slower car, but still
Oh,
it was
okay.
fast.
Yeah.
I liked it very much. And Martina Pavlikova, she was on that call where we met. She
Yeah.
was my observer and my crew. And she made me a
Oh,
lot of
cool.
beautiful pictures, from that
That's
swim.
lovely.
So lots of pictures from Manhattan swim. And then, of course, the English Channel, because everything that I was doing, so I wasn't dreaming that I will get a slot for Manhattan. The English Channel, so the preparation was, all for the English Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was surprised because everybody say that you kind of suffer from, they call it a roller coaster. When you come and you wait for a tide, and I was really kind of enjoying being in Dover. So I probably wasn't on the Dover coaster.
Okay.
So I
The
came a week
emotional.
before, but I was advised to come a week before. So Tracy Clark, so she was my crew, and she said, come a week before because sometimes, if the tide is good, then pilots have really good slots and they accommodate everyone who is available. So I came a week before, and the previous tide was, was not very good. Not many people had a chance to swim, but my tide happened to be much better. Just to give an idea, so it was the same tide when Sarah Thomas was swimming forwards.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was swimming on the same day. I
That's
was
awesome.
and even have a video when Tracy is commenting and she's saying that Sarah Thomas is behind us. She was doing a lap when I was doing my first.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. It's a memorable swim because such an important event happened when I was actually swimming the channel.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky with the tide. So I didn't know how I will take it. So whether I will feel cold or tired or whatever. But I knew that actually I will not be able to say that the conditions are bad because Sarah Thomas was doing her, forwards.
Yeah.
And if it's good for her to do a four-way, I cannot say that actually it was, bad for me. But I would say it was a good swim. Almost nothing happened during the swim. I was stung only once by jellyfish, and then, when I read the observer's report, I found out that there was some barrel jellyfish under me, which I haven't noticed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't know how I would react. I was just swimming and, taking my feeds, looking at the boats, because at some point, Tracy told me that we're catching up with other boats, and I really liked the idea to catch up with other boats. And it was nice. And the only event which was kind of memorable was missing the Cap Grenade because the tide changed.
Oh,
and the tide changed at the moment when I was about to land.
Oh my gosh! Right when you're about to land.
It's they say so. I wasn't asking where I am, how much is left, whatever. But there are some signs that can give a certain idea of where you are. Like, for example, the direction big boats are facing. So, and then you get an idea where you are. It's just French side or English side, basically, roughly.
Yeah.
So I was told not to have any illusions when I see the French shore because it could be like for ages. So I was telling myself that, okay, it could be like forever. I'm not going to have any illusions. I will just swim. I was asking about the boats, and I was kind of anxious not to miss this ZC2 marker.
Oh,
because
okay.
ZC something, ZC2, I believe. I missed it, but just, little. And I still have it on my video, so it was still visible on my video, so it wasn't bad. And then they say that actually a sure sign that you're about to land is when your pilot, takes the rib and puts this rib rubber boat, on the water. So it means that actually, so this is a sure sign that you will land. So I saw the rib, and then people were applauding, and I was told just try and push because it would save my time, and I was trying. And then so I saw the rib, and so Tracy and my observer and some from the pilot's crew were applauding. I didn't have many people as crew, actually. Tracy was my only crew, and Deidre Ward was the only observer on my channel swim. And then everything disappeared. So what I saw, and I saw perfectly the Cap Grenade itself, the lighthouse, the shores, and then everything just disappeared from
Oh my
nobody
goodness.
was taking the rib, so people stopped applauding, and we were just swimming further. And I said, okay. And the funny thing is that when we were finishing, I wasn't sure that we were finishing because so I already missed one finish.
Yeah.
Then, but it was nice, it was warm, it was daylight. And I said, okay, I can stick around for a while because I wasn't exhausted.
Yeah.
Everything was nice. And then Tracy got into the water. And also, I didn't know why she got into the water, whether, everything is nice and she's swimming with friends, or whether everything is bad and I missed the tide and it might take hours and hours and she's in the water to support me. So I was just not making any illusions on that. And then when I saw Lance Orem, the pilot, in the rib, and he was showing direction to the shore, then I started believing that we are about to land. That's how it was. So I was finishing without understanding that this is a finish. So
wow.
It was a channel swim.
I like how you talk about the not giving yourself any illusions, because I think I do a lot of delusioning or illusioning while I'm swimming, because you just start your mind just going, so you're just like, oh, I must be really close. And so you have to keep kind of put that down and be like, nope, I'm just going to swim until they tell me to stop. And I don't know why this person's swimming with me, but I'm just going to keep going. Just one arm in front of another. That takes a lot of mental control, I think, to put those illusions at bay.
Yeah, what wasn't difficult during the English Channel swim. It was like I was told to think like that. I was trying to think like that.
You kind of, I feel like too, you had done so many big swims that year. You're mentally probably in this great space to be like, okay, do what I'm told, put your illusions at bay. So you were just kind of in this perfect space to just get there.
Just keeping asking, are we on track? So meaning that's it to mark a buoy. And then, so this question got into the observer's report, and Tracy was laughing at me, and so I still missed the, Cap Grenade, but.
Yeah. And then, so that was in September, of 2019.
Yes.
And then what happened next? I know obviously the pandemic, but.
I booked Catalina channel swim for 2020. And it was booked for the end of July 2020, I think 29th, 30th, something like that. And then I saw that actually the big swim, so that would be my Triple Crown swim. So it's going to be earlier than, for example, the English Channel, the highlight of 2019. So I should start the season earlier. I started pretty early, so I did Robben Island in February 2020. So I went to the camp again, to Cape Town camp again with Tracy Clark and Roger Finch and some other amazing swimmers. So I did Robben Island, and also I did another one in Africa. So I saw somewhere on Facebook that there's going to be a swim in Namibia. And I saw the 25K, 25K, it's called Lighthouse to Lighthouse. And I thought, okay, I'll book this one because it's like 2 hours flight. And if I go to Africa, that's far. So probably let me see another country and, try another swim. And it's a good distance, 25K for start on the season. And also the water was like 16, 18, so also very nice. So I did that swim. Okay. And then I also was lucky enough to get to the English Channel dinner in Dover
Okay. Wow.
And then everything got closed. So it was
Yeah.
March 2020, and I just got back home. And then so the borders were closed, and the lockdown happened.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you fare? I mean, yeah, how did the pandemic, how did it go there in Russia? How was it? How has it been for you?
Um, yeah, so we didn't work. We had to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
We could go out, for example, if to walk a dog, and I was fortunate to have a dog, and I found my dog a very nice company. Actually, during the lockdown, we had a lot of work. So really, so we worked like everybody else remotely, and there
Mm-hmm.
was so much work that I think at that time we were lucky to have the Zoom calls or Teams or whatever, because otherwise, with trips and traffic jams, we will not be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing kind of trainings at home with my fitness coach. She
Okay.
was doing me videos with
Nice.
different devices and equipment what I could
Mm-hmm.
do. So I bought all this equipment for home. So I have a
Yeah.
very small flat, and
You
I have
stepped up your
now,
dry land game.
yeah, I did that. And then actually the lockdown was eased, and so the pools were still closed, but actually I tried to do swims in the lakes or like in the river again.
Mm-hmm.
And my first swim of 2020 was Lake Baikal. So I
Okay.
did it because I found it interesting.
Yeah.
So not very long distances. So the longest one was, I think it was six or 6.5, but somehow I managed to do like 7.5. The
Hours.
water was 18, but it's actually it was a beautiful swim. It was nice. I wasn't cold, and
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. It's again multi. It was a multi-day swim fest, but
Okay.
6.5 was the longest distance, and then there was 4.5 and 2K. But
Okay.
still, it's something. And I wanted to see the Lake Baikal. That I've never seen it. And I thought,
Yeah.
okay,
How
and
long of a trip is that for you from Moscow? Is it
it's a 5-hour flight to
5 hour flight?
Irkutsk, and then about 2 hours or 3 hours drive from
Wow.
Irkutsk to that place where the swim fest took place. Because Baikal is very big. It's like 700 kilometers
Yeah,
long.
it's a big, big lake for sure. Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah. And
lake.
remote.
Yeah. And then at the end of the year, I had a chance to do around Coronado swim with Dan Simonelli.
That's right. Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
now.
I thought it would be something nice to do, a longish swim. And somehow I did the trip to LA among the probably hardest travel restrictions in the States. But
Yeah.
somehow it worked out, and I did this swim, and I thought, okay, at least I will do something at the end of the year. And the Catalina
Mm-hmm.
swim was canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So nobody
Yeah.
was swimming Catalina. It was postponed till this year.
Right.
So
Right.
that was my 2020. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you, I know you finished Catalina just a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, so 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
So what was your prep like for that this year?
Uh, the same, actually. So I tried to repeat 2019 as much as I
As
could,
much as you could.
yeah, in this new conditions. So the scar again, actually 4 swims. So that was my early start of the season. And
Mm-hmm.
this year's car was kind of different because it was colder and full of surprises. And then
Yeah.
also probably people commented on how it was, and I was really lucky to finish all 4 lakes without
Nice.
much suffering. Though it
Mm-hmm.
was slower than in 2019, but I said okay. And then, so what else did I do? I did this. Then I tried to do whatever swim I could. I did kind of a coldish swim in Russia, in the Russian lake. It was like 7.5, but coldish,
Mm-hmm.
uh, probably 13, 14 degrees Celsius. And
It's
then I
cold.
did, what did I do? 10K. Just again next week, I did 10K.
Uh-huh.
Also, in Russia, so in the city of Saratov. That's the city on the Volga River, but the swim was in another river, not in the Volga.
Oh, okay.
Very nice, warm, 10K. After that, next week I did 26K. So the swim on 3 rivers again. So the final river was Volga, but it's much closer to Moscow, just driving distance. And after that, then after that, I had the Baikal relay. I don't know if you heard about that. That was a pretty, tough and cold relay with the water temperatures that happened to be much colder than it was expected.
Yeah, I heard a little about it. Tell us how you found out about that.
So that was a very interesting project with swimmers from 8 countries. So Jamie Monahan was from the United States, and every swimmer was kind of renowned swimmer in the ice swimming or just marathon swimming. So there was Jamie, there was Adrian Sarchit, so he did Ocean 7 by that time. Paolo Chiarina, so he's quite well-known ice swimmer. And also he swam in the Antarctica in the expedition, I believe, of 2018. Hassan Baraka from Morocco, he also is a well-known ice swimmer. Steve Nair from France, he's just completed 40 bridges, and he was part of that relay too.
Wow.
And then there was a Russian guy who was a backup, and he happened so he had a chance to swim as well. And myself, so I was invited by the organizer because this was the same organizer that did the previous swim fest in Baikal. I said I had 7K and all that.
Yeah.
So the relay was supposed to be 120 kilometers crossing the lake of Baikal, which would be 60K, and then also 60K along the Angara River. That starts, it flows out of Baikal, so it doesn't flow into Baikal because there are lots of rivers, more than 300 rivers flowing into Baikal, and only one river that flows out of Baikal. And this is the Angara River. And so the plan was then to swim from the spot, so cross the Lake Baikal, and then swim from the start of the Angara River to Irkutsk, so the main city, probably. But the water temperature, as I said, happened to be much colder than it was expected. So the expectations were like from 12 to 20.
Okay.
Celsius.
Wow. Okay. It's like 53. Yeah. So between 53 and like 68. Okay. And what
so that was my first question. When I was invited to join this relay as a representative of Russia, I asked about the temperature, and I was told that this is going to be from 12 to 20 Celsius. And I thought, okay, this I can do.
Yeah.
But it happened to be so the highest temperature during the whole swim was 10.
Wow,
10
so
Celsius.
50. Okay.
And the lowest was 4.
Wow.
4 degrees.
39. Okay.
Yeah. So this was the range of the temperatures where I was swimming, and for me it was really, really scary because it's a relay, and I was very much afraid. So I have not much experience of ice swimming, and my longest ice distance was 200 meters.
Okay.
So like 3 minutes and a half, and this is a relay, and everybody else is an experienced ice swimmer. And when I just tested the water at the start, so we had a training swim, I was really terrified. It was like 5 Celsius.
Wow. Okay.
And I thought, well, I don't know how I'll manage. And so, but still, somehow, in the team, so everybody swam, nobody canceled. So everybody was doing his shift. So me too, somehow according to the protocol, I managed to swim almost 9K in the water from 10 to 4 in my shifts. So starting from 10 and then ending in 4.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was 8,963 meters, according to
Okay.
the protocol. That's what I did. But then actually we didn't do the full distance because actually we were expected the temperature to rise when we got into the Angara River because actually the forecast was that it will get warm to plus 20 degrees.
Hmm.
And it was like 4 degrees in a row. And
Oh,
then
wow.
started swimming. So we started. So the few first swimmers started swimming when it was like 10 to 12.
Hmm.
My number was number 6, I believe. And so when I got, yeah, 6. When I got into the water, it was 7.3.
Hmm.
So during my first shift, and then I had a couple of warmer shifts, which was about 10. But then, so the temperature was constantly around 4 degrees and it didn't get any warmer.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so then, fortunately, we crossed Baikal, and now this is the coldest crossing of Baikal. So we did 60K, and we were lucky that actually the water was very calm. So like a
Okay.
glass.
Yeah.
So lots of beautiful pictures,
Hmm.
of this crystal clear Baikal water. But and then we saw that actually the hardest part is done, but no. So
Yeah.
the water was about 4 degrees. Then there was a fog. And
Oh,
actually, it was also kind of dangerous to swim in the fog because you couldn't see the main ship, the main
yeah.
boat where all the swimmers were.
Right.
So then we had to stop. So the big boat threw an anchor. So we had to wait for the fog to clear. And then also we had very short shifts, so like 5-minute shifts during this 4-degree water. And it
Hmm.
was numerous shifts and there was no time, to rest, to
To
dry and, this also.
rewarm,
Actually, we
right?
had a sauna on the ship, which
Oh,
was
okay, that's good.
luxury. But the sauna, so when you start with like 20-minute shifts, you have the sauna to yourself. You can do just dry, warm up, change.
Yeah.
And then when it's 5-minute shifts, there was kind of a traffic jam in the sauna because everybody wanted, to get warm.
Yeah.
And then also we had accompanying boats from the Ministry of the Emergency Situations, and there was a
Hmm.
borderline between two regions. And one boat belonging to one region said that actually they cannot be with us anymore because their shift ended,
Oh
and
no.
it's not allowed to, to swim without those accompanying boats.
Hmm.
And then the boat started moving to take us, to another region so that we could get this escort from another region.
Hmm.
But then also these 5-minute shifts were going on. And actually we were very, very much behind the schedule. And then when the boat started moving, you also, lose, the proper swim, so to say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
You're not, it's not a
so
stage swim or
yes,
yeah.
it's kind of a stage swim, but then
Yeah.
we didn't want to go on because it wasn't safe. So the people who were supporting us, they got tired, and actually we were facing another night on the water, and
Hmm.
the water wasn't becoming any warm. And then we
Yeah.
decided that we actually stopped the swim for safety reasons, and actually there was not much point after the boat started moving.
Yeah.
And so we covered 72K, but the water
Wow.
was so cold. So for 8 people, this is probably still a record and a great adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. Great adventure for sure. For sure. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was your warm up to 2021 or well
Yeah, and then
after Scar.
actually it was a week. So a week later, when I came from Baikal, I went to LA to swim Catalina.
And how was Catalina?
That was my toughest swim. I
Really?
didn't expect it to be that tough because, from what I heard from other people, it's kind of easier than the English Channel. And
Depends who you talk to.
well, at least that's what I heard.
Right.
So as I said, that my English channel was, okay. So I didn't suffer during my channel swim. So my time was okay. So I did it in 13 hours and 55 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So if Catalina is a bit shorter, so I hoped it would be, a bit, shorter than the 14 hours. So, but still, I saw that probably my shape is not that good as it was in 2019.
Yeah,
It
that was
will
a big
be
year.
about 15 hours. Okay. And unfortunately, I had food supplies for 20 hours and plan for 20 hours. So this food plan, because, I was so unlucky if myself, so with the conditions that I got everything on my swim. So I had to swim against the current all my swim. So I had a temperature drop at the end of the swim, substantial temperature drop. I had drop, I had wind, so I damaged my shoulder.
Oh no.
Like 2 hours, so in the first 2.5 hours, and my swim lasted 19 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So it was epic. So
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
and,
that's...
Yeah, I really admire my support team because I'm still wondering how I managed to complete myself, and also for the crew, for the boat crew and the observers that actually they really let me complete this way. But everything was organized, so the safety and the support, so that I really could complete the swim. And I'm very grateful to all people who were on the boat that actually this swim was completed, and I made my triple crown. Also.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. But it was the most difficult swim.
A hard-earned triple crown.
Yes. And then there were dolphins, but I couldn't see the dolphins because of the waves. I saw them on video.
Oh yeah.
So I have a dolphins video. So the guys from my crew made me a video. I was stopped once for the first, portion of dolphins. And then also I looked at my videos, and probably I didn't realize that there were dolphins the second time close to the fish. Nobody told me. Realized that I will not pay attention to dolphins, and then that's how it was. So I didn't notice the dolphins anything, and normally I don't suffer during my swims. I swim at a comfortable pace, and I had no experience of swimming in such hard drop or against the current or fighting the current. I don't know actually what kind of current it was, whether it was lateral or just reverse current.
Yeah, interesting.
And I wasn't asking again how much is left, but I could tell by the kayak shifts. So it's like 3 hours, 4 hours, so I could add it up. And 15 hours later, there was another shift of kayakers. I was seeing the shore. I thought, okay, probably it's time to ask because it cannot last that long. And probably we're about to finish. Sometimes you just see the shore and it seems to be far, but then it appears to be near. And I thought, okay, so probably like a mile or even less. And then the kayaker told me 4 miles. And for me, it's like more than 6K. And I was so surprised because I've already been swimming for 15 hours. So I couldn't believe. And then I started to do mental calculations about my speed. And I couldn't understand why is it so slow. I still, I couldn't use my right arm, to the full extent because I had pain at the shoulder, but I thought it could not be that bad. And then, so an hour and a half later, so again, the kayaker told me, we are just under 3 miles. And then I was thinking like, I made a mile in an hour and a half. And it was like I couldn't believe it. And eventually, when we got to the boat and I got warm, and I saw the captain, and the question I said, why? Why was it so long? So what was happening? And then he said that I was fighting the current all the time, and then so the shock I could feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So it was,
Wow.
and just shortly before that, I think Joe's Mightiest did a double, and it was
Oh,
24 hours, and mine
yeah.
was 19 hours and 40 minutes,
Those
almost.
currents, man, they can
Yeah,
really mess with you.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was surprised, but then when I was told about the current, I thought, okay, it's not
Yeah.
just me; it's
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your shoulder, there's a lot of things working against you too. With your
yeah. So
shoulder's hurting, you
everything
can't
that
pull as hard.
yeah,
Yeah. But
it
you
was
did it.
exposed. Yeah, yeah, I did. That's the main thing. And again, I'm very, very thankful to all my big crew. At that time, I had, fortunately, probably I had a very big crew. At least, they had a chance to take rest, because
Yeah.
otherwise they would be exhausted after this
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself from marathon swimming?
Well, from that swim, actually, it
From
was,
all, I
yeah,
guess
yeah, it was
from all of them.
uh, the learning specifically from that swim were that I probably could do much more than I thought I could,
Mm-hmm.
because actually I wasn't thinking of myself as a person of strong will, so to say.
Uh-huh.
I really like comfort and all my preparation. Actually, I'm trying to prepare myself in a way that I could feel comfortable during my swim.
Mm-hmm.
And I do some exercises and I work at swimming technique so that I could feel okay. So of course it's a long swim and you get tired, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't suffer. This
Right.
was an exception, but I wanted Triple Crown so much. And for me, it was a chance to do the first Russian Triple Crown.
That's great.
Uh, yeah, and I thought that, probably I could try more. And then, yeah, so I did. And well, actually, what marathon swims have taught me, actually, a kind of patience. And now I can easily take a very long flight.
Yeah. I like that.
So the
Yeah.
flight delay is 12 hours. So
Yeah.
and I'm very happy on the flight. Just you sit there, you watch the movies, because you said that actually I did swims that are much longer. And here I am sitting with the food and, entertainment. And this is nice. And it's okay. Something like that. It's nice to trace the progress.
Mm-hmm.
So in all sorts of directions, like cold water or the distance.
Yeah.
I don't use speed as an indication of a progress, because
Right.
you never know, and I
Exactly.
try to avoid anything that gives me pressure and speed. So if I was just following how I'm improving on the speed, probably it won't be much, and might be frustrating. So I never race. I swim with the speed I feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except the last one.
Yeah.
But normally, yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel okay during the swim. And also, I was surprised that actually one of the probably main motivating points of this open water swimming and community is meeting people, because I
Mm-hmm.
never thought of myself as a people's person.
Right.
I'm introvert, but here actually I'm really surprised. So that was my surprise in Morocco, and I really like meeting people.
Yeah.
So I like the swimming community. I never thought I would like, to be among people, and but this is such nice community of people that meeting new people and nice people, is also very motivating.
Yeah.
So that's probably it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. The connection, I think, is unparalleled.
Yes.
Like I feel like that it's a little bit deeper, kind of more meaningful connection, because we all like doing things like like either sitting on a boat watching someone swim or swimming, or
Yeah.
like it's a beautiful connection. that we make as marathon swimmers. I love it.
And it's also a very helpful community, so to say. And what I found out that if you come to a place and you find, swimmers, you can just come and join and,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic.
So, yeah.
Where can we look for you in the coming months and years? Where are you going to be next?
I don't know, actually. So the only swim that is booked is this Gibraltar, so which will be moved, I don't know, probably for next year, so it won't happen this year for sure. I haven't booked anything else because now I have, to treat my shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And then I'll see how I'm doing, and then probably book something. But here I would go slow because I'm still doing the treatment and I still have a lot of limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wear a sling.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope, it will recover because it looks like the damage is not so big as originally everyone thought it is.
Wow.
Hopefully. Well, let's see. And then I'll decide where I move from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care of that shoulder injury. Do your exercises.
Yeah.
Tell us about your, you were telling me before we started recording about the background. Tell us where that is, that beautiful view.
That's Marmaris. I was there in November last year, visiting one of my swimming friends, Emre. So he owns a hotel in Marmaris, and it's a beautiful place. Emre is a channel swimmer, so he swam the English Channel himself, and we met in the camp in Cape Town. So we swam Robben Island together. And then it was a nice chance to go there and swim in beautiful locations and see. So this is a very beautiful part of Turkey. So I haven't been to this part. Very, very beautiful. So the nature is beautiful, and actually the food is nice. The water was warm, so it was November, but it was about 23 Celsius.
Wow.
And yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah, that's one of the illustrations that actually you meet someone and, you can even visit people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my fantasy. Someday I'm going to go visit every single person I've talked to with Marathon Swim Stories. It'll be a big world tour.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Natalia. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. So I like sharing my stories and my experience. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Do you want to take Marathon Swim Stories with you? Subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Want to connect with like-minded limit pushers? Join us for Marathon Swim Stories live on Tuesdays at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 13:30 GMT. Thanks for watching.